Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's truly a pleasure to have you here with me today. I want to start with a simple but urgent question. What if I told you that one common pill, the kind most people already have in their home, could lower your risk of dying from a heart attack by 23%? And what if the key to unlocking that life-saving power wasn't in swallowing it, but in doing just one small action right in the first 5 seconds after you feel that pressure in your chest? I know that might sound hard to believe. In a moment of panic and fear, it's easy to think something so simple couldn't possibly make a real difference. Some people think it's just a rumor or something they saw on the internet. But this isn't guesswork. It's a proven emergency protocol taught in medical schools and used in ERs across the country every single day. The sad truth: over half of all fatal heart attacks happen before the patient ever reaches the hospital. The first 5 minutes are everything. My name is Dr. Michael Smith, and for over 30 years, I've worked in emergency rooms helping people survive some of the scariest moments of their lives. And I've seen two kinds of stories unfold. One ends in heartbreak when someone doesn't know what to do, and precious time is lost. The other ends in hope when someone takes just the right action, at just the right moment, and gets to walk out of the hospital and go home to their family. That difference often comes down to 1 or 2 simple steps that most people don't know about. So I'll say it again. That pill is real. And the smart, specific way to use it? That's just the first of 7 scientifically proven steps I'm going to share with you today. This isn't just a list of tips. It's a clear action plan, a step-by-step strategy to help you stay calm and in control during one of the most frightening moments anyone can face. Because when you have the right knowledge, you turn fear into action, and action saves lives. Before we begin, if you believe this knowledge is important, please take a moment to subscribe and turn on the bell icon. This ensures you won't miss future guidance that could one day be critical. Your support helps us reach more people who need to hear this. Thank you. Now, let's begin. Step 1. Recognize the quiet whispers. Not the Hollywood scream. The first and most important step is learning to listen to your body's whispers before it's forced to scream. We've all seen it in the movies. A person clutches their chest, gasps, and collapses. Dramatic. Unmistakable. But in the real world, a heart attack often begins much more subtly. It's a quiet, creeping dread that's dangerously easy to dismiss. I'll never forget a gentleman named Richard, 74 years old. He was sitting at his kitchen table reading the morning paper when he felt a strange, tight feeling just under his collarbone. He described it as a dull ache, almost like heartburn. He nearly ignored it. But then, he noticed his hands felt clammy, and taking a full breath felt like a chore. That was the whisper. Instead of telling himself, "It's just indigestion," Richard remembered a conversation we once had. He took that whisper seriously, and that quiet decision almost certainly saved his life. Here's the science behind it. A heart attack is a plumbing problem. A blockage is cutting off oxygen-rich blood to the heart muscle. The pain isn't always sharp because the heart itself has few nerve endings. Instead, the pain signals can radiate, showing up as a deep pressure or tightness in the center of your chest, like a heavy weight being placed there. Shortness of breath, even when you're sitting still. Pain that travels to your shoulder, your arm, often the left, your neck, or your jaw. A cold sweat, sudden nausea, or a dizzy, lightheaded feeling. For women and older adults especially, it might just feel like extreme, unexplained fatigue or an ache in the upper back. Your body is giving you a chance. Your first act of survival is to listen. Don't wait for the dramatic chest-clutching moment. If something feels deeply wrong, trust that feeling. It is your most powerful first alert. Step 2. Make the most important call of your life. Immediately. Once you've decided to trust that whisper, your next action must be immediate and without hesitation. You must call for emergency help. Now, I know what many of you are thinking. I don't want to be a bother. What if it's nothing? I'll just wait and see if it goes away. Let me speak to you now, not just as a doctor, but as someone who has seen the tragic cost of that hesitation. I remember a lovely woman named Linda, 78. She felt a strange pulling in her left shoulder and a wave of nausea. Her first instinct was to call her son, but then she remembered the advice a nurse had given her. If you think it's your heart, call the ambulance first. You can talk to your family later. She made that call. By the time the paramedics arrived, her symptoms had worsened significantly. But they were ready. They stabilized her right there in her living room. That call didn't just get her to the hospital. It brought the hospital to her. Here's why this is non-negotiable. Every minute that your heart muscle is deprived of oxygen, it is dying. That damage is irreversible. You do not have time to wait. You must not drive yourself. You could lose consciousness and cause a terrible accident. The emergency responders are not just a taxi. They arrive with oxygen, medication, and a defibrillator. Life-saving equipment that can keep you alive if your heart stops beating on the way. The dispatcher on the other end would rather you call for a false alarm 100 times than miss the one call that saves your life. Your phone is your lifeline. Use it. Step 3. Chew 1. Simple tablet. Slowly. After you've made the call and help is on the way, there is a single, powerful action you can take. Go to your medicine cabinet and find the aspirin. If you have a standard 325 mg tablet, and you're not allergic or on specific blood thinners your doctor has warned you about, I want you to do one thing. Chew it. Do not swallow it whole. Chew it slowly. This may seem too simple, but the science is profound. I think of Joe, a 72-year-old patient of mine. He felt that classic tightening spread from his chest into his neck. He called 911, and while on the phone with the dispatcher, he remembered the aspirin in his kitchen. He hobbled over, popped one in his mouth, and chewed. His cardiologist later told him, "Joe, that single aspirin very likely reduced the amount of permanent damage to your heart. It prevented a larger clot from forming and kept a trickle of blood flowing." Here's the simple reason it works. Aspirin is a blood thinner. It works by making your blood platelets less sticky, which can slow down or even help break up the very clot that is causing the heart attack. By chewing it, the aspirin is absorbed directly through the membranes in your mouth and gets into your bloodstream much faster than if you swallowed it. In this race against time, you're buying yourself precious, life-saving minutes. Keep a bottle of chewable aspirin somewhere easy to reach, in your nightstand, in your kitchen drawer. This isn't just a recommendation. It's a proven first-line defense used by emergency rooms all over the world. If you're still with me, and I sincerely hope you are, please let me know by typing a simple 1 in the comments below. It lets me know this information is connecting with you, and it encourages me to continue sharing these vital messages. Thank you. Let's move to the next crucial step. Step 4. The power of doing nothing. Sit down. After you've called for help and taken an aspirin, your next move is one of profound stillness. Stop moving. Find the nearest safe and comfortable place, and sit down. Or, if you feel faint, lie down on your side. This is not the time to clean up, to pack a bag, or to pace around. I know the instinct is to do something, but in this moment, the most productive thing you can do is nothing at all. I remember Alice, 81 years old. When the pressure started in her chest, her first impulse was to tidy up the living room before the paramedics arrived. She felt embarrassed, but then she heard my voice in her head from a previous checkup. Alice, if you think it's your heart, you sit. Everything else can wait. She sank into her favorite armchair and focused on her breathing. That simple act of sitting down, of refusing to exert herself, likely prevented her unstable heart from going into full cardiac arrest. Here's the critical science. Any physical exertion, even walking across a room, forces your heart to work harder. It demands more oxygen at the exact moment your heart is being starved of it. By sitting down, with your back supported and feet on the floor, you reduce the strain on your cardiovascular system. You lower your heart's workload, allowing it to conserve what little oxygen it's receiving. You're giving your heart its best chance to stabilize while you wait. This isn't weakness, it's wisdom. In this moment, stillness is strength. Step 5. Perform one small act of welcome. Unlock the door. If you have the strength, and only if you feel stable enough to do so, there is one small, final task you can perform. Unlock your front door. It seems trivial, doesn't it? But in a medical emergency, a locked door is a wall. Paramedics are trained to force entry, of course. But that takes time. It takes effort. It can create a loud, frightening crash that can spike your adrenaline and put more stress on your heart. By simply turning the lock, you might save the rescue team 30 seconds, or even a full minute. And when your heart is at stake, a minute is an eternity. Paul, 76, lived alone in an apartment building. When his symptoms began, he followed the steps. He called 911, chewed an aspirin, sat down near the entrance, and then he reached up and unlocked his door. He told me later, the paramedics said that single action got them to my side a full minute faster, a minute I'm not sure I had. This is about removing barriers. Think of it as rolling out the welcome mat for the people who are coming to save your life. If you're too dizzy, too weak, or too far from the door, do not risk it. Your safety comes first. But if you can do it safely, this one small gesture can make a world of difference. It's a message that says, I'm here. I've done my part. Help is welcome. Step 6. Let your phone speak for you. As you wait, your phone becomes more than just a device to call for help. It becomes your voice and your medical chart. First, if you're still on the line with the emergency dispatcher, put your phone on speaker. Place it on the table or floor beside you. This frees your hands, but more importantly, it frees your body. You don't have to strain to hold the phone to your ear, which can make breathing more difficult. The dispatcher can also hear your breathing, your tone of voice, and any background sounds, all of which are vital clues to your condition. But there is another, even more critical function on your phone. It's called your medical ID, or emergency information. I think of Susan, a 79-year-old woman who set this up on her phone after her daughter insisted. During her event, she lost consciousness just before the paramedics arrived. They couldn't speak to her, but they could access her phone's lock screen. There, on the medical ID, they instantly saw she was diabetic and had a severe penicillin allergy. This information prevented them from administering a medication that could have been dangerous, and it gave them her daughter's number, listed as an emergency contact. This is your silent advocate. It takes 5 minutes to set up, but it can speak for you when you cannot. Please, after this video, take a moment to fill it out. Your name, your birth date, key medical conditions, allergies, current medications, emergency contacts. This isn't for the tech-savvy. It's for anyone who might one day need help when they are unable to ask for it themselves. Step 7. The final tool. Your own breath. In the chaotic moments of waiting, it can feel like panic is a tidal wave, ready to pull you under. Your chest is tight, your thoughts are racing. But you possess one final, powerful tool to anchor you. It is your own breath. Controlled, slow breathing will not fix the blockage in your artery. But what it can do is calm your body's panic response, which can prevent your heart from spiraling into a more dangerous, irregular rhythm. When you panic, your heart beats faster and more erratically. By consciously slowing your breath, you send a signal to your nervous system that says, "We are in control. We can manage this." You don't need a complicated technique. Just try this simple rhythm. Breathe in slowly through your nose. For a count of 4. Hold for just a moment. Then, breathe out gently through your mouth. For a count of 6. Repeat. In 2, 3, 4. Out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Focus on that rhythm. It is something stable to hold on to in the storm. I remember Frank, 83, who felt he was drowning in fear when the pain began. But he practiced this simple breathing. He told me, "I just kept thinking, stay calm, stay alive, one breath at a time." When the paramedics arrived, his heart was unstable, but he had avoided a full-blown, stress-induced arrhythmia. Your breath is your anchor. It can keep your body from fighting itself. And in those final moments before help arrives, that can be the one advantage you need to survive. Before you head out, if this video brought you any value, any sense of empowerment, please tap the like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and share it with someone you care about. If you have a loved one over 60, please send them this video. You may not realize it, but you could be the reason they're still here tomorrow. At the end of the day, surviving a heart attack when you're alone isn't about luck. It's about preparation. It's about awareness. And it's about calm, deliberate action. These 7 steps, recognizing the signs, calling for help, chewing an aspirin, sitting down, unlocking the door, using your phone, and controlling your breath form a chain of survival. In your hands is not just information, it's the power to stay alive. Even when you are alone, you're never powerless. And together, they send a powerful message. Thank you so much for your time and your trust today. And finally, I want to leave you with a gentle reminder. The information in this video is meant to support your well-being, not to replace professional medical advice. If you're taking supplements, following a treatment plan, or managing any health concerns, please speak with your personal doctor before making any changes. Every body is unique, and what helps one person may not be right for another. Thank you sincerely for your time and trust.